Hey everyone, Andrew here, Melbourne Superman, and it is time for another reaction video. But before I get into it, you probably noticed the mustache. So right now it is the middle of November. I've got a couple weeks left. I am sponsoring the Movember campaign. Rather, I am raising money for the Movember campaign, and part of that is myself growing a mustache for the month of November. So I'll have a link below that you can check out and donate if you can. It's all about mental health awareness and the betterment of mental health and fitness as well. So be sure you check out that link so you can find out a little bit more about Movember. So today, I'm going to be reacting to Superman for the Quest for Peace. So this is the final sort of chapter in the Superman Christopher Reeve franchise. So this, of course, movie has not been received well. A lot of people believe that if there was a movie that maybe caused the Christopher Reeve franchise to go the way of the dodo, it was Superman 3, when in reality, unfortunately, it was Superman 4. Superman 3 didn't do so bad at the box office. Superman 4 was a little bit of a different story, and it just wasn't received well, unfortunately, because, very, very last minute, there were funding cuts. Pretty much the budget was cut in half. I think He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, that movie kind of had a lot to do with it. Canon, of course, was responsible for this movie, and there was just so much of it that, there's a lot of things in this movie that just didn't work. I mean, so much of the footage was left on the cutting room floor, footage that would have made the movie make more sense. There are so many unanswered questions. There's powers that we have never seen before because of budget cuts. For example, there's that scene in the Great Wall of China. I know I'm getting ahead of myself. I feel like with the proper budget, that would have been super speed fixing, but instead they just gave him kind of like mortar vision. But some good things about this movie for me, I love this movie. I love Superman 4, The Quest for Peace, because it addresses some very real issues. And whilst it doesn't really have any kind of closure in terms of Superman stepping in to get involved in some of these issues, it just does raise the awareness of the issues. I mean, there's some very great moments in this film. Just like with Superman 3. Was the whole film great? No, of course not. Is Superman 4 the whole film great? No, of course not. But there's some amazing moments that I absolutely love, and we'll talk about them on our way through. So here we go. We're going to get started. Superman 4, The Quest for Peace. So, of course, right away, we're back to the classic sort of opening credits. Now, I really enjoy these opening credits. Whilst they're not just the straight blue like Superman 1 and 2, I think they work. I don't know, and I don't know if this was done on purpose, but there we go, Christopher Reeve. I don't know if this was done on purpose, but of course we have the Earth in the background here. And in Superman 1 and 2 with these credits, you're still flying through space. This movie is really, is the movie that Superman really... There we go, Superman 4, The Quest for Peace. And a lot of people don't like that. I like the coloring of this logo because it's kind of like comic booky. But this movie was kind of like where Superman really decides that he is a citizen of this planet. And so I think it's very fitting that we have the planet Earth in the background amongst these credits. John Cryer, of course, who plays Lenny. Say what you will, I don't mind him as Lex Luthor in the Supergirl series. That's another video for another day, I'm sure. Mark Pillow, of course, I'm very excited. I have my autograph from him from the Caped Wonder. You've seen that. I've unboxed it. Check out that video. Mariel Hemingway, and of course, Margot Kidder as Lois Lane, back for a bit more of a substantial role in this one. This scene. When I was a kid, I used to think that was Chevy Chase. It kind of looks like Chevy Chase. It's not. But I like this opening with the astronauts singing. I never knew, when I was a kid, what this was, what crashed into the ship. But now, looking back at it, I still don't. I'm assuming it's part of another ship or a space station or a satellite. I enjoy this open. I enjoy this open where we get right into Superman, and he's the first character that we see. Well, in terms of whether it's Clark or Superman, You know, we haven't done that yet. It's always been Clark that we see first. So I do like this open. I think it sets the tone for the movie, you know. And of course, here we have some of the flying, and unfortunately, the graphics in this movie are not great because they reuse a lot of footage, and you can absolutely tell that it's like the same thing, the same stuff. But there are some moments, like when he's flying. Look, that's the same exact shot. But there are some moments when he's flying and he's picking up the astronaut that look pretty good. You can tell Christopher Reeve has visibly aged, of course, over the course of 10 years. But he still looks great. He still looks fantastic in the suit. He still looks convincing as Superman. And he's just as amazing as ever. And I love that they put this in because it tells you that he's taken the time to learn so much about Earth. In the time he's been here, he's speaking fluent Russian. So there's just a lot of great things. And then, of course, these effects really don't hold up over on a high definition television. There's so much you can see, unfortunately. More so in Superman the movie. Superman the movie, Superman 2, those effects hold up much better. Even Superman 3. And here we are back in Smallville. Now, I mentioned this in the last video. We see a very different version of Clark, you know, in this film. We see Clark, we see Superman, then we see version 3, which is Kal-El. When he's talking to, you know, the guy who wants to come and buy the farm. I can't remember his name at the moment, but, you know, we see a less sort of goofy Cary Grant Clark in this film. He's much more grounded. He's much more normal, I guess is the best word to say. And here we go. We're getting down into the old ship. He's going to find this green crystal, of course, where his mother's going to tell him that this is a power source for him. And I think Christopher Reeve looks great here. It's a power source for him, and of course that will play a big part in the movie moving forward. Now right here when he picks up, I always used to think the way that he's holding it when I was a kid, I talk a lot about the things that I thought it was, but that's part of the fun. When I was a kid, I used to think that he was holding up a dagger, and that the crystal was made of, it was a dagger made of this crystal, which of course it's not. Still don't know why they made it green, but whatever. I like the graphic here that you can see the X-ray vision. I think it's cool that they show just what he would be seeing. And also, you know, it's got his little telescopic vision as well. And this right here, when he bends down to look at it, it looks like he's doing something to the ship to make it go dark. He's definitely doing something to make the dirt cover over the ship, because that's what happens. It gets reburied. But like, that's never really explained. I guess it's kind of like a foreshadow, like, oh look, he can fix all this and make it as if there was no hole here, and that's what he's going to do for the Great Wall of China. But I don't know. Just like in the first movie, he's going to hit this baseball. It's going to kill somebody. Oh no, that's right. It goes out into space. It goes out into space. The introduction of Lenny in this car. And two of the worst corrections officers probably ever. Gene Hackman, of course, and of course John Cryer. Of course, Gene Hackman kind of refused to do the bald cap thing, except for the one scene in Superman 2. So it's kind of like silly when you think about, because I think there are some, it's funny because Gene Hackman in this movie is kind of noticeably balding, but we're still meant to believe that Lex Luthor's bald anyway. So it's like, is that a wig? Is he giving us like a balding wig just to make it look real? I don't know. Those are the things that go on in my mind. But this car, this whole scene is just outrageous. Like, Lenny's outrageous just in general, his character. The fact that these corrections officers are getting into this car when all of these felons are like meant to be guarded. And the fact that this just even is something that's possible is just beyond me. And you know what else? If they go over this cliff, that's death. Like they're dying. This is not. They're not coming back from this. Their seatbelts weren't on. You can visibly see there's nobody in that car, but their seatbelts aren't on. With what we just see, there's no way. It's kind of like too Looney Tunes-ish for me. But, you know, because when you think about the first movie, the first time that we see Lex Luthor, he's sort of, he's committing a murder, like a horrible murder. And in this one, it's kind of like, let's let them be okay. Yeah. I love Margot Kidder, Lois Lane, like she's learning French, and you know what I don't do when I'm learning French? Speak it to some random person on the subway and expect to get any kind of response. Poor Clark. Why he would take the subway, nobody knows. But it sets up for this scene beautifully. Again, these are like really cool. Like I don't like mind how Superman comes into play. Like we see the train conductor, driver, not conductor. I think it's conductor. Is a heart attack. Something bad happens, and all of a sudden, like I never knew why she was screaming for help. But now that I'm old and older, I've been on trains. I'm like, oh yeah, that train is not stopping, and they would right away think something's wrong. But I love this. I love the phone booth classic, boot stepping out, Superman ready to work. It's just a cool little moment. You know, the music always works for these movies. And there's that, oh God, it just looks, I hate to say it, but the flying, some of it just looks so bad. I won't say it anymore. I won't say it anymore, but it just does. And it's just really sad because Christopher Reeve really wanted this movie to work, and then they just took his budget. They took the budget away from the movie, and it's not a bad movie. The thing is, it's not a bad movie. It's just poorly made, unfortunately, in some points. Superman. Of course, we get the introduction of Lacey and something. David Warfield, thank you. French Lois Lane, thank you.
Don't tell me you only read the pictures. The fact is, Mr. White, that I only read the ledger. A ledger which the previous owners paid so
I swear, I think Jackie Cooper is the only one in these movies that like didn't age over the course of 4 movies.
And the name of the game is making money.
Ladies and gentlemen, my daughter, Lacey Warfield.
Big glasses, man alive, those glasses.
Mr. White, Lacey will be helping you. Helping me?
Helping me with what?
What I have here is mock copies of
Best.
our new layout. It's super, don't you think?
Hey, I know what you did there. Super.
Somebody has to be an optimist.
I feel like this isn't her voice.
Jeremy,
Like, I know this actress. I've seen her in
what do you
Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Bed, and I feel like that's not her voice.
know what's going on? I tell you, I'd write a letter to them.
I don't know if that's his voice either. The ADR in this movie is not great.
No, Superman.
You know what I can do with a single strand of Superman's hair?
Make a toupee that flies. Shut up, Lenny.
That hair is a sample of Superman's genetic.
He's so quotable, though. He's so quotable.
My genius and enough nuclear power to mutate the gene.
It always annoyed me that Lex Luthor says nuclear. The word is nuclear. Lex Luthor should know how to pronounce nuclear. If his IQ, if we are to believe from the first movie, is 200.
Keep your eye out.
Nobody around. Easiest museum heist in history. Now, I think there was an extended version or cutscene where Superman does interact with this kid. So we do see him saying no. But why?
I just said I wish Superman would have said yes.
I'm assuming he would have explained it in a way that Superman would to a child, and he wouldn't have said, obviously, drop dead. And he wouldn't have said just no, he would have said something.
May the elders hold you holy. My son.
I never knew why the fortress was green here in this movie either. But why not? I love the coloring in this film, though. I will say that. They do something. I think Superman 3, we actually see what... Because my suit, my Superman suit, my Christopher Reeve suit, is very much sort of aqua blue. And we see that in Superman 3, and I think that that's a much more accurate representation of what his suit was. In this movie, it looks to be a different material as well. I gotta look at Caped Wonder, but I enjoy the coloring in this movie. Like, everything really pops really well.
Clark, things aren't that bad, Clark.
Imagine if she had a heart attack on the way down. I'm not... I'm not a fan of this scene. I like the idea of it, but again, it just... I know I said I was going to say it, but the scene just doesn't look good. It doesn't look good at all. Not like the first time. But it's still a nice throwback. It's you know, obviously their chemistry is still amazing. I don't know if this scene was necessarily needed, because it doesn't really go anywhere, does it? It doesn't do anything. It doesn't turn into anything. It's just Superman was feeling crappy, so he decided to have a bit of a selfish day and tell Lois who he is again. I mean, not with words, but oh man, and you can see the green outline and the green reflection. I never noticed that, but now that I have a high-def TV, I notice it. Bummer. From the green screen, of course. But yeah, I don't know what I'm saying. Yeah, I don't know if this was necessary, this scene. I just don't. I would have more enjoyed seeing different scenes that actually strung this movie together better. But it's still a nice throwback.
How'd you like going solo?
It was nice. It was nice to see them fly together. And unfortunately for Superman and Lois in this franchise, that's it. That's it.
You're the only one I can talk to, Lois. See, sometimes I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Represent any country, but I'd like to
Just him standing there. You know, the thing about Christopher Reeve, he never ever looked uncomfortable in this suit. I mean, that's, you know, that's a spandex, it's lycra suit. He never once looked awkward, out of place, uncomfortable. You got to give it to him. No matter what your opinion is on these movies, he just holds it so well. I love this moment.
For many years now, I've lived among you as a visitor. I've seen the beauty of your many cultures. I felt great joy in your magnificent accomplishments. I've also seen the folly of your wars. As of today, I'm not a visitor anymore, because the Earth is my home too. We can't live in fear, and I can't stand idly by and watch us stumble into the madness of possible nuclear destruction. And so I've come to a decision. I'm going to do what our governments have been unwilling or unable to do. Effective immediately, I'm going to rid our planet of all nuclear weapons.
He was so good. Such tragedy that he's gone. So good. God. Here we go. This is the rocket that's going to launch us into the Nuclear Man 2. So of course there is a whole lot of deleted scenes of Nuclear Man 1, who is very much different from what we got. There were two Nuclear Men. the first actor, who was kind of like a Bizarro type, and it was kind of like a comedy fight that they had, I think, and it didn't, I guess, test well. And you can see the reflection of the blue from the blue screen on the rocket. Oh no! But here we get the birth of Mark Pillow, the amazing Mark Pillow, Nuclear Man 2. I always thought this was kind of cool. Like, I know that some people are like, the graphics, but this was kind of a cool way to do it. I think we could have done without his incredible growing fingernails, though. But I think Mark Pillow just looks amazing as this evil character. Always kind of thought this was a bit of a jerk move, even though this guy kind of deserves it. Oh, man. Like, you're better than that, Clark. You could have killed him. Come on. Anyway. It's so funny how smitten Lois Lane, Margot Kidder, always gets when she's around Superman. I enjoy this scene. I know it's kind of silly, but I enjoy this scene. Like, the back and forth of Clark and Superman. I know a lot of people don't love it. I think it's cute. I just like the way that it is. It's so 80s too, everything about this scene. That slide though, man.
Boring up there with Lois and Superman. Let's go do something wild.
They're expecting us at Whitney Light.
Yeah, you're right. How can one man be so square and so delicious? All right, let's go chit-chat. If I have to face Superman, so do you.
As if she wouldn't, like, I never understood that though. Like, she's a journalist. How would you not want to be around Superman? Like, this is a story of a lifetime. This is one of my favorites too. I love the music. I love the car change, like I said in Superman 3. God. I just love it. But this, I don't know what this is. He's like, I am Cornholio flying. I don't know what that's all about. I never enjoyed that. God, this guy. It wasn't until much later that I realized that was Gene Hackman's voice. No, you have my voice. And obviously, it's literally. I want to know how Lex Luthor got this apartment, this penthouse suite, right out of prison. I really like the Nuclear Man music. It's cool. The graphics though, the blue screen. And the cuts. Man, it really doesn't hold. I can't say it enough. It just doesn't hold. Just isn't good on a high def TV. I still love it though. Oh, you see his harness in that shot too. Bummer. But here we go. Here's the Great Wall scene, the Great Wall of China scene. I don't mind how this looks. It's obviously, you can tell it's obviously, of course, it's a miniature, but you can tell, but it's pretty well shot, I think. And flying up, and all of a sudden he's on the ground. Weird continuity there. And here's that mortar vision that nobody knows why. Again, I think budgetary thing, he probably would have super sped that thing, but due to budget, they were just like, just look at it and we'll fix it that way, I guess. I don't know. When he puts this back on the pedestal, I used to love that sound, the statue. And this looks really cool. I mean, it doesn't look great, but it's just the way that he's holding himself. I think it looks good. Graphics-wise, it doesn't look great. And here we go. We have these awesome growing nails, which are just gnarly. That sound, I don't know why I like it. This used to devastate me as a kid, just watching him fall and get the crud kicked out of him, and then seeing his cape just fly off. I was devastated. Like, I was just absolutely devastated as a kid. Mm. This scene always made me think that Lois kind of still knew, because she's talking to him about Superman, but it's almost like, does she know? Because she sees how sick he is. She's gonna get this message to Superman. She could just figure out a way to tell him. And then of course she leaves the cape for him, and I'm like, does she know, but she's not letting it on? I don't know. It's just kind of a weird, I don't know.
If you do see him, or here's
Like, I like the idea that she still knows. I wish that was that.
this.
But the way she drops this cape, like, why would she think that he's got a better chance of seeing him than she does? Boom, into the elevator. See, that takeoff looked kind of cool. But also, all the debris that's just fallen from that Superman has just killed like 5 people, just so you know. Now this is interesting. See, this DVD, it doesn't show it, or it doesn't, you can't hear it, but in my original VHS tape, when he's flying off with that elevator and you see the elevator go past the camera, you hear a distinct, like, thud twice. And I always, when I was a kid, thought it was, oh man, you can see the curtains. Oh, the black curtains. Jesus, this does not hold well on HD TV. Anyway, you heard the thud. And I always thought as a kid that was Nuclear Man trying to get out. But you didn't hear it in this. So that's interesting. Here you go. And we're about to see Lacey Warfield breathe in space. No one knows why, no one knows how. Like, this needed to be addressed. Like, this is devastating to the world's everything, but it works for the context of the movie, the Eclipse. But yeah, she should be dead. Unless there's some kind of aura or something around him that protects her. But then, right now, like, she lets go. I think she lets go. No, she doesn't. Maybe she doesn't. But yeah, she should definitely be dead. And the glow around him as he flies. Yeah, maybe I can accept that there's an aura around them that protects them. But again, that should have been kind of like addressed maybe. And of course, we're about to get into this amazing speech. Which again, check out my YouTube. I did this, shot by the amazing David Frumholtz, but I did it in my Batman v Superman suit.
Good to see you again. Good to see you too. Morning, gentlemen. Excuse me.
I don't care what you say about the movie.
But once more, we survived the threat of
Fantastic.
fragile peace.
Fantastic point to go out
I
on.
thought I could give you all the gift of the freedom from war, but I was wrong. It's not mine to give. We're still a young planet. There are galaxies out there. Other civilizations for us to meet, to learn from. What a brilliant future we could have. And there will be peace. There will be peace when the people of the world want it so badly that their governments will have no choice but to give it to them.
You can see the tears in his eyes too.
I just wish you could all see the earth the way that I see it. Because when you really look at it, it's just one world. gonna be vaporized? No, Luther. It's as it always was, on the brink.
On the brink.
Fighting evil.
There we go. Our signature ending. Even this looks different. See, that's definitely him from Superman the movie. So you can tell that they reused that scene, and that's fine. That's fine. Christopher Reeve, top billing. All right. Well, there you have it. That was the last film in the Superman Christopher Reeve franchise. So Superman 4 falls a little bit flat in terms of the graphics and everything, but there are still a lot of great moments. Again, I did not touch on everything that I would love to touch on. Again, visit my friends over at the Fire and Water podcast, Superman Movie Minutes. I don't know that they're quite up to Superman 4 yet. I think they are at Superman 3. I'm working my way through the episodes, and I'm loving it. They dissect the movies 5 minutes at a time. So this was just basically some highlights. Overall, if I'm going to summarize a little bit of the Superman, the Christopher Reeve movies, I'd say Superman 2 is probably my favorite. Superman 1 then comes next. I think I like Superman 4 better than Superman 3. Because they as faulty as Superman 4 was, they kind of go back to the original formula a little bit. But yeah, so of course the next movie, Superman Returns, that is technically canon with Superman 1 and 2. I'm sure I'll do that at some point soon, which I always think is interesting. The ending of Superman 2, he says, sorry, I've been away so long, it won't happen again. And then we find out in Superman Returns that supposedly takes place after that movie that he's been away for 5 years. So, but yeah, so, overall, I absolutely love these movies. Do the effects stand the test of time? Maybe not, but you know what? They are magic. They are absolute magic to watch. I'm very hard pressed, to find anything about these movies that I don't like. I know I kind of talk a little bit negatively about some of the aspects of them, but overall, I absolutely love them. So look, thank you so much for continuing on this journey with me through these first 4 movies. Thanks so much for watching. I've been Melbourne Superman, and I will catch you next time.